Hey everybody, welcome in. We're doing a little live podcast today. We thought it might be interesting. As you can see on the Facebook Live, our topic is no, don't do that, do this. So
we're going to talk about things that happen in relationships where maybe a girl does something a guy doesn't understand, or a guy does something a girl doesn't understand, and kind of give perspectives.
Yeah.
Controversial opinions when you're in a relationship, what's crossing a line, what's
not.
Yeah,
or like even things that as a guy we may do that we don't really understand why girls don't like us doing that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe just share some.
But
drop some knowledge.
If you saw, I posted on my Instagram and the Facebook, just trying to gather questions of little situations where exactly that.
Girls and guys may not understand why the other does.
Yeah, one acts a certain way. And yeah, so let's get into it. First, I have to address the elephant in the room. My mom, when I first asked her something that kind of irritated her, her first comment was going golfing, which is something that my dad, if you know my dad, he does as much as he possibly can every day.
Right.
So I
think no excuses, it's wrong.
Right. So Jamie, if you had a husband who just wanted to play golf all the time, what would you?
I would like it sometimes because then I can do what I want to do and not be bothered.
Not be bothered, yeah.
But I don't know. As long as they're giving you quality time.
Yeah.
Other times, and it's not most of the time.
I think it's from a guy perspective. It's like I feel it because I like to just be active. I like to go out and do fun things.
Yeah.
If it's a nice day, I love to just be outdoors, and playing golf is fun. You get to do it with the guys, get to hang out, have a good time.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is like, oh, honey, we should do this. No, I'm going golfing.
Yeah, every time. If it's every time, then it's like, screw you.
Golfing.
But obviously, it's good to have different things that you enjoy separately.
That's one that I can kind of understand, I guess. I understand.
I'm team mom.
What's something that a guy would do that girls don't necessarily like for you?
Ooh, should we start off like a little slow, not too...
No, I think we dive right into it.
Dive right into it? Okay, my biggest annoyance, well, not my biggest annoyance, but one of them is guys liking other girls' pictures on Instagram. But not like...
Yeah, what kind of picture?
Like like thirst traps.
Thirst traps?
And thirst traps are when girls basically post like a nude photo on Instagram.
Basically. What about like a good old selfie where it's just like, oh, look at me?
No.
You don't think that?
I don't think my boyfriend should look at any other girl besides me. No, I'm just
any
kidding.
Other girl besides
I'm just
me.
kidding. I think it's totally fine. I think it's healthy to have friends of the opposite sex and support them and be friends with them. But it's kind of, if you are in a relationship and you're a guy liking those kind of pictures, you're giving like validation to that girl in a way. That's how girls see it oftentimes.
Okay.
Because it's like you're literally being like, I like what I see.
I like what I see. Yeah. What does a like mean to a girl then? Because like for a guy, if I get a like, I'm just like, oh, these are just people that.
Well, you're posting like wholesome photos though. If you're posting like a selfie and like you're feeling yourself and you look really good, you should definitely do that. But you're doing it for validation.
So it's kind of the meaning behind the actual photo. Well, yeah. I'm thinking behind the actual photo.
Right.
Is that what you're saying? Like if a girl, if she clearly posts it and is like, oh hey, look at me, like I look pretty, whatever. Yeah. Then you don't want your boyfriend.
Girls just don't love it.
Yeah.
They don't love it because, yeah.
I get it, and especially I get it for like a quote unquote thirst trap where
it's like sexual.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I want attention,
and it's okay.
Or like give it to me.
It's just it's a blurry line because in some respect you shouldn't care, and then in another it's just kind of like just having respect. Like you wouldn't. I don't know. You would would a guy like if their girlfriend posted the pictures that they're liking of these girls with their thirst traps? No.
No.
So why are you liking them?
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. I guess it's just like the respect part of it.
It's respectful.
It's like, oh, okay, so this girl knows that you're dating me and you're liking her thong bikini swimsuit picture. And
I'm sure in a guy's head, it's not that deep, or they're like, damn, she's hot. But then they don't give it like any more thought afterwards. But us girls are like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? And,
I'm more particular with my likes these days, but At one point, it's just like you're scrolling and it's like people. It's all people you know, so it's just sure, I'll like it, whatever. Yeah. What does it matter? It's just a like on
social media.
It's just a notification at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's not like you're.
Yeah, it's a silly thing
like you're doing anything specifically.
I think too, rather than like us girls, we'll probably like send the screenshot of the liked picture. You'll be like, is this girl pretty or not? Is she prettier than me? Just tell me all these things. Yeah. But when in reality, it's just like, hey, like, don't do that.
Just be respectful and I guess.
Or just steal their phone and go in and block any hot girl. I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah, you tell me one.
I'm gonna talk about one that hit home earlier this week where you're starving, absolutely starving, and I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'm not that hungry, but I could always eat. So, what would you like to eat, Jamie? And I get the old fashioned. I don't know. Just pick. Just pick. And I'm like, okay, so Taco Bell, there's McDonald's here, there's Culver's. What do you...
I know. But do you ever just get past the point of starvation?
Past the point of starvation?
And you just need someone to just tell you.
Just hangry? Where you're just hangry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time,
well,
it's
and you were being mad confusing because we left at like 12:30 and we needed to be somewhere at 1, and you were like, and it was going to be an hour long, so we were going to be done with that like at 2. And you're like, we should just get Mexican food after. And I'm like, dang, I don't really want to wait any longer, but Mexican food sounds really good, so I'll just wait. So I'm like, I don't care.
I know,
do whatever you want.
But then it's like, okay, so you're like, well, I'm starving, I'm not in a great mood because I'm hangry. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to leave early, go out of my way to get you some food so that you're in a better mood.
That is sweet.
And then I'm driving and I'm 500 feet away from the 3 places that we can go. And I might as well have stopped right in the middle of the road because I asked you about 8 times what you wanted to eat and you couldn't choose. And I was like, well, I don't even care. Like, I'm not even hungry. Whatever. It's just indecisiveness. It doesn't matter. But
we ended up at Taco Bell and making 3 separate orders.
3 separate orders. I found out I actually was hungry. But that's
and
definitely
I was like,
one that...
Magically, I just like loved you so much more after that. And I was in a way better
mood. Because you were hungry, huh? You just wanted me to pick because you were just past the point of like... Yeah. I'm like, done with it.
I just get that way. Yeah. I get hangry.
I got you. What about when...
So, when situations like that happen and your girl doesn't know what they want to eat, you just need to simply read their mind and take them to that.
Simply read their mind and just pick. And you know what? If you get it wrong...
Go to somewhere else.
Go somewhere else, I guess. But Taco Bell, who doesn't love Taco Bell? So...
Yes.
Okay, what about when guys take like... Okay, actually, what about when guys go out to the bar, say, with their friends... and they are not like responding as quickly back as you want them to, or simply not responding at all. They're taking an hour or two to respond.
I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I think what I would appreciate is you just being like, hey, I'm going out with my friends at the beginning of the night. I'll let you know like when we get somewhere and then when we're leaving, because when I'm hanging out with my friends, I don't want to sit there on my phone the whole time because I want to enjoy my time. So I'm not expecting you to do that. I
see that issue more coming up in maybe relationships that don't have a lot of trust.
Right.
It's like, okay, because, you know, I've been with people before where it's like, you need to text me because, like, deep down they're just, like, skeptical. They don't trust you, whatever. I feel like that's probably more...
Send, like, a video where you're at, like...
send a video, respond.
A 360.
But for a guy, it's like, I'm out with my guy friends. Honestly, I'm not going to probably be on my phone that much. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like enjoying the moment, enjoying the atmosphere, especially if you're in a loud, crowded place or you're like at Buffalo Wild Wings watching a sports game. Yeah. You're just not going to check your phone that much and like taking the time to like type, because it's almost like I could respond. Yeah. I could respond right away, but at the same time, if I respond, you're more likely to get like a what's up.
Exactly, and then the girl's going to be like, why is he being so dry? And
why is he being weird?
You have a whole like argument because of that. I think just talk about it before you go out. Yeah,
I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that. Mm-hmm. Just talk about it before you go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the communication's always interesting. Okay, somebody on here put one like when girls. This is just from the girl perspective, from the guy perspective of girls going to like a therapist and telling them everything about your relationship. But I want to look at it. I don't know, because like I don't personally care, but like if a girl is telling all of her friends,
That's
like the bad stuff that's going on
and then all the
between the
friends
relationship, and then you just have this thought that like all of their friends are gonna be like, oh, screw him, like let's go get drinks.
Yeah.
You should be mad at him for that.
Yeah.
You should
and then
you
they
should
might
feel that way.
Well, same to guys, like they'll be like, screw that girl, like let's go do this. Sorry, I was trying to think of an appropriate way to say that.
I think from the guy perspective, it's more like, I don't even understand how she would be mad at this.
Right.
You know,
I think, just like talk to someone that you trust, like your parent or a therapist, but tell them the good and the bad things. Because if you're only telling your friends the bad things, they're going to be like, why are you with this person?
Yeah.
But it's easier to like go to someone and be like, what should I do? I don't know.
What should I do?
I think the therapist is a perfect person to talk to because they're going to be completely
I don't really
unbiased.
care about that one that much. Okay, so then let's see what a girl thing. Let's see. Oh, when your girlfriend, one of the guys slid in on the story and said, when like you go out and your girlfriend is like wearing very little clothing.
This just depends on a lot of things. This depends what kind of event you're going to. Like if you're going out to the bars or something, wear whatever you want to wear, in my opinion. And also, it's just silly. Like guys love when girls dress like that, like in a situation like a bar.
If they're single.
They're like, damn, she's so
She's
hot,
so
all
hot.
these things. And then when it's their girlfriend, they're like, cover up, all these. I don't know. I get the whole, like, if you're around, like, family members, like swimsuits, for example.
Yeah.
I didn't own, like, a really appropriate swimsuit. And we went swimming around your family, so I get that that's a little bit awkward. Yeah.
Well, from a guy perspective, it's like, if you're single, a girl's not wearing a whole lot of clothes because you're at a pool bar or whatever, that could be attractive to a single guy because it catches your eyes. And so when you take that and you put it into a relationship scenario where now my girlfriend is wearing the same thing, but we're out and she's with me, it's almost like bringing up a little threatening situation. It's like, ooh, I know every guy's going to be looking at her.
Oh, I don't think that. I think, like,
but that's how, like, from a guy
guy's
perspective, it's like every guy's going to be looking at her, like, thinking things, and like...
I think a guy should be like, yep, that's my girlfriend. Like,
she's
with me. Yeah, like, just be confident. I mean...
No, that makes sense.
But I've always been, like, a little bit, like, I like to be a little risky when I dress.
A little risky.
A little risque.
A little risky.
But we're not doing...
We're young,
We're kind of doing it just because we're, like... It's fun to, like, look good when you go out.
Everybody loves looking good,
And oftentimes, girls are dressing that way for other girls. Because, like, we as girls appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're like, think that's so cute or whatever.
Alright, I'm going to hammer probably the one that comes up the most often out of all of these, where a girl hits you with the, I'm fine. Hits you with the, I'm fine. And you had a funny comment earlier. She was like, yeah, well... You might have asked me 10 times, like, what's wrong, but I was going to tell you the 11th.
And you didn't ask.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The I'm fine is just, it's always hilarious. It's like, you're clearly not fine. Something's going on. But maybe you don't, is it like you don't, because you don't even know what's wrong?
Yes, I guess. But also it's something like, you might do something that bothers me, but I know you didn't do it to, like, bother me or hurt my feelings, so it's not worth being, like, bringing up, but I'm going to be shady about it. I'm going to be like, oh, that was really funny. You're like, wait, what?
It's like, I was just kind of trolling you, and I was trying to stir stuff up. I'm not actually fine, so, like, I'm going to tell you I'm fine, so that maybe in your mind, your wheels will start turning and, like, be like, what did I do? Look from the inside perspective rather than just giving...
It's a really healthy way of communicating.
Right. Rather than just giving them, like a clear, like, this is what's going on.
Because, honestly, if you do tell them what's going on, they might be like, you're absolutely ridiculous, which you might already feel like, yeah, it is ridiculous to even be mad at that, and then you have, like, a whole argument that didn't need to happen.
Right. And how many times is it, too, where it's just, like, something so silly that you don't even, honestly, you say you're fine because you don't even know what it is that's, like, making you that way, making you upset, but you're just like, I'm fine, because you don't want to address it. But deep down, you're just kind of annoyed or whatever. What's another thing that a guy can do that girls don't like? Just say one. They're literally listed.
I know, but I'm trying to say... I don't know.
Okay, guys having access to another girl's private story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
a private story.
A private story. Let's explain that first. Let's go into that.
So like you can post stories on what, Facebook, Instagram,
yeah, everybody
Snapchat.
probably knows what a private story is.
But primarily,
what's the purpose behind a private story?
A private story is just, in my opinion, super duper silly because if I have people on my account, I want them to see like whatever I post. But basically, oftentimes girls will make private stories and they'll like put, again, thirst traps on there, just being like sexual and stuff. And I think sometimes it bothers girls when guys are on other girls'
like when their boyfriend is on another girl's private story.
Because those girls specifically picked that guy because they're like, I want you to see that.
That's true, because a private story is private, clearly. Yeah. So it's like they had to at one point go through and be like, oh, I want Kate on my private story. Yeah. Oh, I want this. And then if they post like a scandalous picture, that is something that they don't want their entire other Instagram following or Facebook following to see.
It's like a president's too. It's like, this is exclusive content.
This is exclusive. You're a subscriber basically without actually subscribing. But from my perspective, it's like, what can I do? I can't even, it's not like I can get off of the private story.
Delete them.
You know what I'm saying? Delete them. Just get rid of them out of your life.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these are really silly because it really comes down to you just have to be like trusting in the relationship. Yeah. But it is annoying.
Yeah. Okay, one thing that a guy said that he doesn't like is when girls are kind of hanging out and they're just for hours just mindlessly scrolling on their phone. And then another thing that sort of basically goes along with this that girls dislike is when guys are present but not present. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it goes both ways. Yeah. It's just like being like living in the moment, being in the moment. Like you can sit in the living room for 4 hours with your significant other, but like if you're not talking to them and you're just living through your phone, it's almost like, well, we might as well not even be hanging out. We might as well just be. I'm not saying we might as well be, but I'm saying that's how it comes across. Is like I'm here with you, but like I'm not mentally I'm not here with you.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I think for us too, I think we do a pretty good job of like being present because we have limited opportunity to be physically together. But I think it is kind of nice where you can just like sit in the same room and just scroll because it's like I'm here with you. Like it feels nice to be in your presence, but also I'm just zoning out and not thinking about anything. But I think not all the time.
Well, and we all have cell phone addictions. Everybody in the world pretty much has some sort of cell phone or social media addiction that we don't like to acknowledge, but it does definitely exist.
Online shopping,
scrolling, just pure boredom. It's like, I don't want to have a conversation. I'm just going to scroll through Instagram or scroll through Facebook and look at funny videos and waste time, basically.
But if you're kind of bonding, like, look at this funny video. Like, I think that's kind of fun, too. I think what bothers me more so than that is like gamer boyfriends.
Gamer boyfriends?
Because like
that's a big one.
I mean, they are like crackheads. Their eyes are like glued to that TV for hours at a time, and they have a headset on, so they're super disconnected.
Right.
I would say that's more bothersome.
Yeah, that would get annoying. I
was so happy to hear.
I sold my PlayStation because I knew that was going to be an issue. Because like playing Fortnite or playing Call of Duty with all of your friends that like you aren't even hanging out with is so fun. Like I can't explain it. But just playing video games, you got your headset on, you're just like all zoned in. Yeah. It's just so all the dopamine is just hitting. Yeah. It's so fun. But I get how you can be annoyed at that because like some people legitimately. I had a roommate in college. Nothing against you, Colin. Like,
calls him out.
Nothing against you, Colin.
Name drop.
But you wake up at noon and you are up till 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. playing video games.
That's what my 16-year-old brother does.
Gosh, that's a lot of time of just...
It is, and I think like I've had girlfriends in the past where they might live with their boyfriend and they never went to bed like as a couple together because the boyfriend would be on until like 4, and like that's just like... I'm sorry, but like, man, what? Why would you do that if you're living together? Like, that is insane.
Well, because you're probably addicted to a video game, but also you're then missing out on all of the intimate quality time, I guess, and stuff. So I understand how a girl can get mad at guys for playing video games 24/7. That's totally understandable. What about a guy saying they will call you, but then not calling you? I'm guilty of this. I do that sometimes.
Just call them. I'd be like, did you forget something?
Just call him.
Just call him.
But from a guy perspective, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything right now. I know you want to talk on the phone, but like sometimes just those conversations on the phone can last a really long time, and it's like, oh, I just kind of want to chill. I just want to listen to whatever. I just want to text, but at the same time, like for us, especially since we live so far away from each other, it's like I try to put into my head like, okay, I actually do need to spend time just talking on the phone, and I need to dedicate this period of time.
Yeah, no, that's really
that's one I'm definitely guilty of sometimes, because I'll be like,
I don't know. I feel like my mom told me like a little while ago that like sometimes men, she calls it like, refers to it as like their cave time. So like when you start like being less and less interactive like with texting or calling, I'm just like, oh, he needs like his like man cave time. I don't want to like interrupt that, because we all need our own space too at the end of the day, and like sometimes it can be overwhelming, because you and I like technically, even though we live 5 hours away, could talk to each other constantly, and that's not healthy.
Yeah, if you're talking constantly, at a certain point, it's like, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah. And
then you get dry in the conversation. Yeah. And then that
can
almost set you off.
Because like sometimes I'll be like, wait, like, what's your problem on the phone? Because we'll be so like quiet, and you're like, nothing.
Literally nothing.
And then we'll kind of be all like rude to each other.
I'm just hanging out. I'm just chilling.
Sometimes there's nothing to be said.
Okay, what about I'm going to use this funny story from your brother. So her brother, what is he, 16 years old?
He just turned 16.
He's 16 years old, and he recently had a birthday. His girlfriend posted, well, quote unquote girlfriend, you guys know how that is with younger kids, but his girlfriend posted him on her story to say happy birthday, everything. Her birthday was literally the next day, and he didn't post anything.
Yeah, so it was on his birthday, and he comes over, and my brother is just one of a kind. But he shows me his phone. He's like, "Hey Jim, look what the sailor posted. She posted me on her story for my birthday." I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And he was like all smitten about it. And then the next day I said, "Hey, did you see Sailor at school and wish her happy birthday?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Did you post her on your story too?" And he was like, "No, why would I do that?"
Why would I do that? She posted me on...
Boys are mean.
Yeah, she posted me on her story, and it was sick.
Yeah.
And now I feel like a baller, but now it's her birthday, it's not that special. I don't really want to post it.
Do you think you were like that, like though in high school?
Nah, I think if I was a hopeless romantic. If somebody... Yeah, I mean, I think I've always like tried to post the person that I'm dating or whatever, post pictures of it, because I just
girls
like to show
like that.
people that I care, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. And it doesn't surprise me when girls like that. He's definitely one of a kind. But that kind of goes into another thing. Girl, I personally don't like when I'm with someone and they like never post anything about me, because then I'm like, why are you trying to hide me from the world?
What are you trying to hide from the world, Jamie? Miss No Post? Guilty.
I do post on Snap. And I have a picture lined up, because we went to
got a picture lined up,
Tonka yesterday.
But like from your perspective, I see it too. Like it's not like I'm going out of my way constantly to take pictures of like, well, no, just like even of us, like take good pictures of us. Like if we go out or something, we just kind of enjoy the moment, and it's hard to like think about taking a good picture. So for you, like for me, I don't care if I post something on Instagram or Facebook. I don't really care how I look. Like it's not like a big thing, but like I know you care.
Yes.
Like if you want it to be a good looking picture.
Yeah.
So I get that. You're more selective with what you're gonna post. That one doesn't, the posting stuff, I don't think it really bothers me for any reason, but it's more like just acknowledging like, hey, I think this person's special, here, take the picture. But that's not like a huge one for me, I guess. I understand people who get annoyed at that, but at the same time, it's just a picture. Just post it.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard to do if it makes the other person feel good. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I don't know. This one is kind of me. Like, I don't really understand, I guess, from a guy perspective, girls who are 20 to 24, 25, whatever, getting a lot of cosmetic work done.
Right.
Like lip fillers or like stuff like that.
Like, how do you feel if you're in a relationship with someone and they start like getting like lip filler, hair extensions, eyelash extensions. I mean, I guess it's just kind of like you kind of know what person you're dating, so you might know they're into like looking really good and stuff like that. I mean,
I guess.
What do you think? Because I mean,
personally, I don't care. Like it's not an issue. But I think that if you're, and this is just my perspective, which may not be popular at all, a popular position at all. But I'm a 24-year-old guy, so if I'm dating someone like you who's a year younger than me, 23, I'm like, this girl is 23, like, she's attractive, I'm dating her, like, why does she feel like she has to change everything about her? And to me, it's just like adding something that's not real, something that's not fake. And so I'm like, girl, you're beautiful, just like, be yourself, don't worry about spending all of this money on making your lips look juicier. Like, who cares? Who cares? But
I mean,
if it helps you at the end of the day, or if it helps whatever,
right, absolutely.
Not you in particular, but if it helps the girl, I guess that's fine.
I mean, at the end of the day, if the girl feels better about herself after doing those things, it's great. But I think it's definitely good for the boyfriend to just always compliment so they do feel good around them, because it's hard sometimes, especially with social media. You're just constantly comparing.
Yeah, you are.
And you kind of want to look the best you can for your boyfriend.
What about when guys go on bachelor parties?
I've always wondered this. Like, is it like a thing where like it's like a last hurrah and the guy like does something with like a stripper? I've always wondered that.
I've never been to a bachelor party where strippers or
that
anything has been
the guy
involved.
Put his face in the stripper's butt.
We watched the movie Knocked Up it was on Netflix or something. It's an old movie, like 2007, I believe, with what's his name? Jonah Hill. Well, it's got Jonah Hill in it. It has Seth Rogen.
Who's the main guy? Siegel Jason's.
I don't know his name.
Had a lot of really funny people.
The bachelor party thing, I've never been to a bachelor party where there's been strippers or anything like that. Never been to a bachelor party where there's been strippers. Obviously that exists, or else we wouldn't really think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's okay. Like,
I
don't think it's okay.
Well, what do you think of like, not like a bachelor party, but like guys go into the strip club, like as a group of guys and they have girlfriends? Like, what do you think is appropriate or not? That's kind of a tough one. I don't know. That's a tough one because I get it. Like, I think you just have to put yourself in that perspective and like, okay, if you're a guy and you want to go to the strip club with your buddies for a bachelor party, then like you need to put yourself in the perspective of like, what would I feel like if my girlfriend had naked guys dancing all around her and touching her and stuff, I think that's kind of like where the line can get kind of like, it's like, realize what you're doing and try to put yourself in the other perspective. Definitely. I don't maybe understand. If you look and don't touch. It's like the whole thing is like, oh, it's the last hurrah of like the bachelor party, but at the same time, you're literally about to get married. Like, and tomorrow morning, you're gonna watch your wife or soon-to-be walk down the aisle, and your buddies are like, "Oh, I saw his face in some girl's boobs the other night." They're like laughing. Like, oh man, I don't know. That's like my worst night. I would rather just not know. Like if you did, I would just want to know. I could definitely see how a girl. I have no doubt that a girl would get angry if you're at like a strip club on your bachelor party. Like, doesn't seem like a great thing, but obviously it gets done and obviously it happens. It's more up to, all of these are about personal experience, so it's like, you just don't, it's whatever. What about when like a guy doesn't clean off the toilet or like put down the toilet seat? Is that, what in girls' minds is like, that's annoying? Or like, I think sometimes, like in the past and like past relationships and stuff, and like with my little brother, I would be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you left that up. He's like, disgusting. You're so inconsiderate, all of these things, but really, how hard is it just to flip the toilet? Flip it down. I mean, it's nice to like, because in the middle of the night, if you get up to go to the bathroom, you might fall into the toilet. Fall into the toilet, yeah. But I mean, that's just kind of a silly one, I guess. Yeah, that is a silly one. I think maybe when you start having kids, it would be good, especially if you have boys, to just kind of teach them how to be respectful with pottying on the toilet. What about if you have, like, you're watching a movie, you're sitting there, and the guy's just like, oh, that chick's so hot. Like, what if your boyfriend's just like, oh, that actress is so hot. She's so sexy, whatever. Like, does that bother girls?
in general?
Yeah, it does, but I don't know. The way I'm just like, yeah, she is, so I'll just either agree. If it was like something that like they always said, I would either get mad or I would just make it a point to point out every attractive guy I saw.
Just play the game right back. Just play the game.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think? How would you like a girl to respond in those situations? It's awkward because you don't. Because if you kind of are like, wait, why'd you say that? Then you sound like defensive, and then you just kind of sound crazy. But
yeah,
but it isn't the best thing to hear.
If it's happening all the time,
yeah,
and then the guy's also not commenting about you at all ever. I get that, but at the same time, they're on the movie. Like clearly, they're hot.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're a professional actor or actress. Yeah. Like clearly, they have something about them that's charismatic, pretty, you know, beautiful. They're not gonna just throw, unless it's a comedy movie, they're not just gonna throw ugly people out there.
Yeah.
So like I get it. And at the same time, they are famous, so there's no chance ever that you're gonna be with them. Like,
and I mean,
like when I see Megan Fox on the TV, it's like,
well, yeah, she's like objectively,
clearly objectively hot.
Yeah.
And if I say that, it's like, I mean, she's hot, but like nothing's ever gonna happen.
Exactly. Exactly. Like we had the conversation where like maybe like if you're at the gym and like a guy would come up to me or a girl would come up to you and like like have like a little exchange, like you're going to think other people are attractive, but you just have to at the end of the day be respectful. And like if a girl comes up to you, like of course they are, like you're cute and they may not know that you have a girlfriend, but as long as you're being respectful and like in my head I know that like we have a relationship and all of these like great things together, like it's more valuable than just thinking someone's hot.
What about something that annoys guys would be like their girlfriend posting like a gym pic, like a mirror gym pic.
Oh, really?
A mirror gym pic, yeah.
That bothers guys?
Well, yeah, because like typically, typically girls like, well, me too. I'll wear a cutoff to the gym to work out or something. Like you're trying to look good, like you like your body, you're taking care of your body. So at the same time, I get it. If you're posting a picture, it's almost like.
What if they do it every once in a while? You know, they feel good about themselves and like, hey, like this is the progress I made. What do you think of that?
Personally, doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, I guess.
What if I did it?
What if you did it? That's what I'm saying. Like, also, what is the pose? Is the pose like? Look at my butt, or is the pose just like here at the gym working out? You know.
So the pose matters.
I think the pose matters. The intent matters. Of the post.
How often?
Like how what? Frequently. Maybe how often? Yes.
I know. I've thought about that too. I mean, at the end of the day, like you just have to, put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah, and that's what the thing is with all of these. It's just putting yourself in the other person's shoes, but.
And also having enough trust to be like, yeah, she does look really good, and she should be able to share that, or he does look really good.
He looks good. They should be proud of themselves because they've been at the gym 4 times a week for the past 2 years. They eat healthy. They take care of themselves. I totally understand.
Describing us,
Yeah, describing us. I totally understand that.
I think that's a common one that people kind of are like get petty towards.
One thing that annoys me, which is not like necessarily about like your significant other, but when girls, like something goes bad in the relationship, and girls go to their friends and tell them everything bad, and then like instantly you hear about their friend being like, screw him, like hyping your girlfriend up to be more mad about a situation than obviously than what you think they should be, because as a guy you think you never did anything wrong. So
truest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly. So that's something that bothers me, is when like people are like, oh yeah, you should be mad at him, you should do this to get back at him. Because like once you add a third party into your relationship, like you don't know exactly what they have. Well, you don't know exactly what their intent is on giving you that advice. It's like, are they kind of like, they don't really like your boyfriend anyways because they're kind of like jealous of your relationship, so like maybe they start feeding like bad thoughts into your head about your significant other.
I can see that.
And whenever you're in a relationship, it's like you need to just focus on you two and like kind of keep some things in with just you.
I mean, that's something I've learned too. Not that any of my friends like encourage me to do bad things, but they hype me up and they help me. But sometimes like you just have to like have a trusted person to talk to, because you know, it could just make things worse if you sit there and just perseverate on all the bad things.
Perseverate. There's that word, that big word. I never.
The one thing I've ever taught you.
I know, exactly.
You said I know.
The one thing she's ever taught me. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for all of the ones that we had people send us on Instagram and stuff. But if you guys like this, we have a podcast. It's called Gen-Z Diaries. It's on Spotify right now. I'm kind of working on getting it on other sources. That's why we're doing the video, the live. We wanted everybody to have a chance to see what it was like on something like Facebook, with the hopes that you may go over into Spotify, find Gen-Z Diaries on Spotify, follow, you know, like it. If you like the content that we're putting out, the content that we're sharing, please share it. It just helps. Yeah. I'd like to just grow the audience so that I can keep having interesting people on. Like, for example, at some point I have a buddy who is in the Washington Nationals organization. He's a pitcher. I grew up and played baseball with him. He's drafted very highly. So, like, that's an example of somebody that I'm going to try to get on the podcast, because I think he could offer something interesting, an interesting story, you know.
Definitely.
Please share with everybody.
Comment maybe like something.
Yeah, comment something that you think is interesting, or comment a thought that you had about this. But other than that, just thanks for tuning in. And like I said, find us on Spotify, Gen-Z Diaries. Thanks, everybody. Peace out, world. Enjoy the football games today.
Go Chiefs.